Yes, hello again, I'm Simon Hill and welcome to A Game of Two Halves, the quick-witted-ish battle of brains and banter. Making the news this week, the Mariners stay top of the pile in the A-League, while the now ironically named Melbourne Victory stay bottom, following a 6-goal thrashing by City. The situation is so dire, some fans staged a protest to show at what point the line was crossed. Meantime, Joachim Löw has announced he will quit as head coach of the German national team after the Euros. Word is Löw potentially got a sniff that he could be picked for an enticing coaching job where he can really get his hands dirty. That never gets old. In the W-League, Raw's undefeated record came to an end, while Sam Kerr's place in history as the competition's record goal scorer is under threat now as well, as Michelle Heyman has drawn level. To celebrate, Foxtel announced Fox W, which will allow viewers to watch Women's AFL and Rugby League, as well as the W-League. Well, at least partially. And this week also saw Harry Kewell joining Tony Popovich and Kevin Muscat in a traditional Australian rite of passage. Like so many before them, the trio are now all unemployed, stuck in Europe, and unable to get a flight home. Yes, a warm welcome to our 10th episode of the new season. How quickly the weeks go by, which is good for us here at A Game of Two Halves, as the jokes never reach their sell-by dates. Thank you for your support of our humble show. We operate on a budget smaller than the W-League club's backroom staff, and just like most of their players, we have to do other jobs as well. So the coffees you buy us are most welcome. Of course, if you haven't yet bought us one, we'll be sending Bubs around with a baseball bat. So to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, please go to www.ago2h.com and mine's a soy latte. Hey, I'm what Murdoch's minions would call a lefty, so what choice do I have? As a gesture of our appreciation, please have Scott Jamieson's warmest smile. So to our two teams. Captaining the Bubsy Babes, who lead the series incidentally 6-3, is Melissa Barbieri. Now this week, amid the debate about statues for female athletes, I suggested Bubs should have one in Melbourne for her 4 Women's World Cups, and of course captaining the Asian Cup winning team in 2010. Our creative team immediately got to work, and we can proudly unveil the design here tonight. Joining Bubs is Adelaide United legend Bruce Djite. Bruce is a man of many talents, footballer, bachelor of business, he works for charity and is an adept media performer. One major political party is even tipped to be pushing him to stand for Parliament, egged on by the fact he played on the right wing. And if Bruce does enter politics, hopefully his supporters will follow him to the polls. Did you get that? Oh dear. Leading the Jamo Tarts is Melbourne City skipper Scott Jamieson, fresh from a 6-0 derby thumping of victory, a result that has shaken Victoria to its core to such an extent that he too is about to have a statue commissioned to mark his many accomplishments, like never having made a grand final, 0 titles, and habitual runner-up in the 2-horse race that is A Game of Two Halves. Oh, we'd love that snap. Joining Jamo is Central Coast Mariners defender Ruon Tongyik. At the age of 24, Tongyik has already played for Adelaide, for Wanderers, for Melbourne City, Brisbane, and now the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners are Perth Glory. And what opponent hasn't reacted too kindly to the news that Ruon is up to 5 clubs already? Don't you dare beat my record, he says, Liam Reddy. Good luck to all our teams. Let's get into it. Our first round is 4-4-2, the chance to get some points on the board. We show one team a set of 4 pictures. They can come up with any answer they like, really. Even if it's totally wrong, they might get a point if we deem it creative enough. However, if they don't get the right answer, we'll square the ball to the opposition for a chance to bury it into an open goal. So let's get started. Jamo Tarts, you are up first. And here is our first quartet. We have Harry Maguire, we have Ulises Davila, we have Manuel Neuer, and Robbie Cruz. 4 players, great players in their own right, but who is the odd one out and why?
I would offer this to Ruon because they are first, but I'll go with captain's choice and say Manuel Neuer. Why? Because he's the only person to be coached by a guy that sniffed his own genitals.
We're going to give you a point for creativity there, Scott. Unfortunately, it's not the right answer, and you almost get a minus point for your pronunciation of Manuel Neuer. But we will throw it over to the Bubsy Babes, Bruce and Bubs. Any clues?
I was going to say Neuer too, but I don't like being like that. I was thinking Maguire.
I will give you a clue. 3 of them might have been skipping for joy at the weekend, but who and why?
I'll say Cruzy because Cruzy was the only one that lost a derby.
You are correct. It is, in fact, Robbie Cruz, who is our odd man out. He was the only captain of the 4 skippers to suffer a derby defeat over the weekend. Bayern Munich's Manuel Neuer claimed a 4-2 win in Der Klassiker against Borussia Dortmund. Manchester United's Harry Maguire was crucial in stopping the City juggernaut in the Premier League. Grrr. And Wellington Phoenix's Ulysses Davila was untouchable in the most intense game of them all, that being, of course, the distance derby against Perth Glory. Meanwhile, Cruz oversaw a crushing 6-0 capitulation against City for the worst result in the club's history. I think Jamo actually wrote that script. Let's move on to the next set. Bubsy Babes, it's your turn to step up to the shootout. Here's our quartet. We have Ange Postecoglou, Grant Brebner, Kevin Muscat, and Carlos Salvatierra. But who is the odd one out?
Geez, Brucey, what do you got for me? A little banter. Come on, throw one in there. Get yourself in trouble, son.
Who's the odd one out?
Who's the other? Oh, who's been there the longest? Who actually won games?
Well, feel sorry for Brebs. Do we have to kick him while he's down, poor bastard? I think it has to be Brebs. Yeah.
Don't second guess yourself, Bruce. Don't second guess yourself. It is Grant Brebner who is the odd one out. The other 3 all wanted to manage victory and left on their own terms, whereas Brebner is the only one who didn't want the job and, of course, now can't get rid of it. Bruce, you took a slightly different approach for former players and became Director of Football at Adelaide United. Why that route instead of the more conventional coaching role?
Me? Because I didn't want to... I had enough of the precarious occupation that is footballer. Coach, I'd say, is more precarious than actually being a player. So nothing wrong with a little bit of stability and sitting behind a desk. I'm that type of guy. I'm not the coaching type.
And are you going to go into politics, Bruce?
Me? No, I'm happy with my job here at Adelaide United.
Yeah, you got enough politics in football as it is.
If I got into politics, there'd be less politics than there is in this game anyway. It'd be taking a step back from politics, gone into politics.
That is so true. All of which brings us to the end of the first round. Director of Scorekeeping, Hayley Routley. Who's VAR and who's Haaland?
Well, we've got the Jamo Tarts ahead on 3 points to Bubs, and Bruce is 1.
How is there 3 points, Hayley? How did they have 3? There's only been 2 questions.
He was creative or something.
Or something. Come on, guys.
Give Bubs a point for that good tattoo on her back that she showed earlier. I think that's only fair.
We'll give you one for the tattoo if we can show it.
It is actually a very good point that Jamo raises, Bubs. You do have an Adelaide United tattoo somewhere on your body. If it is for family viewing, may we see it?
Oh, God, I knew you'd make me do it. It's not Zoom work.
What does it say?
United till I die. Is that what it says?
It says relentless, LR. Relentless Lady Reds.
Excellent. How much did it cost?
It was free.
It was free.
I have enough. I got a coupon.
You had enough tattoos to get a coupon.
For your 10th tattoo, you get a stamp and it's for free.
Right, so you got a tramp stamp. Excellent, love it. Thanks very much, Hayley. Great diversion. Still plenty of time left to forge a lead or make up lost ground. Next up is We Don't Know What You're Doing, where we show teams the start of a clip and they'll have to guess what happened next. Teams, get ready. Here comes the first teaser.
Western United play 28 A-League games in the past.
So this is Western United making a substitution. What happened next? This should be pretty fresh in everybody's memory.
Barisha asks to look at the camera and say, look at that, look at that.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Bobs. Barisha was there, the first player ever to complain about getting tugged off the ball. Yes, Besar Barisha giving birth to a million memes with his furious rage after his shirt was pulled in the box, but VAR ignored his demands for a penalty.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at it! Look at it! VAR, huh? Look at how it's grabbing there. Why you guys don't look at? Why you guys don't look at? But they need to see it. I can see clearly.
Bruce, what did you make of all that? As a striker, how much does a shirt tug affect you?
Well, it depends. The problem's the inconsistency, you know. Now, if your hand's 5 centimetres away from your body, it's a handball, whether you're meant to do it or not. But you can get your shirt tugged and no one's reviewing it. So it's this VAR is controversial as is, and that's what frustrates players, and I can understand Barisha's frustration.
Did you ever take a dive, Bruce?
Me? Nah, I probably should have taken, not dives, but been a bit smarter. Geronimo used to always say, like, you know, got to be a bit more smarter. Different cultures, different approaches, I'd say.
Unlike Stefan Morg, then. Moving on, let's see the next video. This is a contentious late penalty that was given and then saved. But what happened next?
I'm going to follow the VAR theme here and say the referee to check the VAR and the young lady stepped off the line early and they had to retake it.
It's nice and creative. Unfortunately, it's not right. It'll be down to Hayley as to whether you get a point for that or not. So we will throw it over to the Bubsy Babes. Bubs, Bruce, any clues?
My guess is that she kicks the ball out straight into her own player's back of the head and goes in.
No, but also very creative. Anybody else want to have a little crack at this? Ruon, you've been very quiet so far.
I'm going to take an odd guess and think maybe she taps it back into the goal, maybe.
No, it is not the right answer. We're going to have to give you the answer. It was actually what we label crate stuff, as the Wake Forest Demon Deacons women's coach, Tony Daluz, put his foot in it after he kicked a milk crate in frustration and got stuck. The score was tied, goalless in the closing seconds of the game. The Deacons had a chance to steal the win with the penalty, but it was saved. The game ended 0-0, and the milk crate sadly had to be put down. You have to question whether the coach still has the dressing room when not a single player on the bench came to his aid during that. Go on, Bobs, what were you going to say?
They were too scared. Can you see their faces? They're trying not to laugh so hard, but he's obviously done his syndesmosis motion. That's a bad injury.
Oh, dear. It's worth seeing again.
And then a little bit of entertainment, too. That says it all for Wake Forest. Tony Daluz, frustration, gets his foot stuck in a crate.
I'm pretty sure we had a similar incident many years ago with Laurie McKinnon putting his foot through a chair when he was at the Mariners. Anyway, moving on. As we head to the tunnel for the halftime break, Hayley, who is Rangers and who is Celtic?
Well, thanks to Bub's back tattoo, we're going into the sheds at halftime, all even. It's 3 points each.
Thank you very much, Hayley. We'll be straight back after we head to the nearest city square to smash up some park benches and this quick ad break. See you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you're enjoying our show, then please head over to AGO2H.com and buy us a coffee so we can make a few more. And if you're a business wanting to reach more than 12,000 engaged and mildly amused Australian football fans every week, please drop us a line at show@AGO2H.com to discuss an ad campaign tailored to your needs and your budget. Give us a yell, let's get the conversation started. Or you can just buy us a coffee. Both are good. Thanks. And we're back for the second half with a segment that probably deserves its very own You've Crossed the Line banner protest. On Me Headlines, it's called. Parts of the upcoming headlines have been covered up better than a royal scandal. 1 point to the team who can fill in the missing words, and some bonus points for those who can create their own Barisha-inspired "Look at This" headline. And we're off. Bubsy Babes, you're first. Socceroos sweat on hosting World Cup hub or face what? Any wrong guesses for me? Go on, Bobs.
Socceroos sweat on hosting World Cup hub or face never beating Matildas in a world ranking ever.
You might get a point for creativity there. We're going to throw it over to the Jamo Tarts. Jamo, Ruon.
Look, I'm going to be really honest here, and I've said this many a times on this show. This segment is one of the worst segments going around. I believe it needs to be abolished, but for the good of the game, I'll have a jump at it. So let's see it again. Socceroos sweat on hosting World Cup hub or face having to watch Meghan and Harry's interview.
I like that answer. It's not right, obviously, but I think you're going to get a point for that. The real answer is this. Worst case, forfeit fear. Socceroos boss Graham Arnold has come out with the stunning ultimatum that Australia may have to forfeit their place at the Qatar 2022 World Cup unless the federal government sets up a hub to host the remainder of their qualifiers in June. Australia should have 3 of their 4 remaining games at home, but our strict COVID travel restrictions mean that's less likely to happen than Qatar suffering consequences for their dismal human rights record. And of course, this isn't the first time we've sweated over World Cup qualifiers. Oh, that shirt. I think that was auctioned off for a lot of money, actually. Moving right along, Jamo and Ruon, what are MLS teams keen on?
Oh, it could be, why are MLS clubs so keen on Ruon Tongyik after his amazing start to the season?
Oh, wow.
That's got to be worth a point. We'll throw it over to the Bubsy Babes. A point for creativity to the Jamo Tarts, but do you have the right answer for us, Bruce or Bubs?
It's got to do with logos and renaming and all that sort of stuff. So
We're going to give you that one, Bubs. The answer is rebrands. 2 more MLS teams rebranded this season, with Houston Dynamo changing their badge and Montreal Impact changing their name to Club de Foot Montreal. Seriously. Only one of the original founding MLS franchises still has its original crest, and 4 now go by completely different names. Is the A-League about to follow in the MLS footsteps after the rebrand of the Hyundai A-League to, well, just A-League this season? We now face the biggest club rebrand since cross-city rivals lost their heart. Legal experts warn Melbourne Victory may now need to change their name to avoid being sued for false advertising. Sorry, Victory. Jogging on, Bubs and Bruce, what is one Liverpool fan blaming the horrendous Anfield run of form on? Any thoughts on this one?
it's got to do with superstition, Bruce.
Well, not really. No. It's the honest answer.
Klopp is sitting on the first seat in the dugout instead of the third.
Now, there was a word in your sentence there that actually has a lot to do with the answer, if that gives you any sort of a clue.
Klopp, third seat.
Ding, ding. Seat. Seat is the clue.
Oh, because they can't have fans in the stadiums because of COVID. No fans sitting down.
I've given you as many crosses in front of an empty goal as I can possibly do, and you still haven't got there. So I'm going to throw it over to the Jamo Tarts. Scotty and Ruon, can you pick up on those little hints?
I think Ruon can. I can see him thinking right now.
Kind of agreeing with everyone. I think something has something to do with COVID, isn't it?
Nobody's going to get it. Nobody's going to get this one. So the answer is the colour of the seat coverings. After Liverpool lost their last 6 home league games for the first time in club history, one Scouser insists the colour clash between the club's red kit and the red covers over Anfield's seating means it's taking them longer to visualise players. Seriously. Unfortunately, the theory conveniently ignores the fact that Manchester United, of course, are thriving under almost identical circumstances at Old Trafford. This, of course, isn't the first time colour theory has come into play in the Premier League. Back in 1996, Manchester United took to the pitch in their grey strip, only to find themselves 3-0 down at the break to Southampton. Insisting they couldn't see each other well enough, Sir Alex Ferguson accepted the £10,000 fine to have the team change into their blue striped kit, where they looked a bit more like Manchester City and played an awful lot better, but still lost 3-1. Our final headline, Jamo and Ruon, this is for you. Puma have made a ridiculous jacket, but what is it made out of? Let's
Are
hear.
you a Puma athlete, Root?
Yeah, actually, I am. Yeah.
Off you go, my man.
Just throw it to me.
Your kit deal depends upon this. Your gear is going to be thrown out, Ruon. You got to get this, mate.
Wow. I don't know why I can't. I can't pick something out. What it is?
Snakeskin. Roo said snakeskin. There you go.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Snakeskin? Okay, I like the answer, but it's not right. I'm going to throw it over to the Bubsy Babes. And the clue, Bobs, is probably you, if you get my drift. Or the position you played.
You could create ridiculous jacket made out of. Well, it's not.
Goalkeeper gloves.
Bruce Djite has got it right. Yeah, Puma have collaborated with designer Nicole McLaughlin to create a jacket from old goalkeeping gloves to highlight the potential of upcycling, whatever that means. Nice try, Puma, but the A-League has been recycling for years. And yes, you're right, Bruce, we can only begin to imagine what that smells like. Bobs, is that idea a keeper for you?
Not at all. Oh, mine are straight in the bin afterwards.
You don't keep a collection of stinky goalkeeping gloves around the house?
No, if I do have gloves that are able to be reused or anything, I give them to charity.
Your current ones must be pretty fresh, though.
Always fresh, always fresh.
You earned that, to be fair. So at the end of the round, Hayley, who is 10-man Porto, nutmegging Ronaldo for a late winner over Juventus, and who is packing Ronaldo's Bianconero bags?
Well, I'd just like to announce there's a $50,000 fine and 3-point deduction for the Jamo Tarts for absolutely shitting on the segment that I write. So that sees Bubsy Babes ahead with 6 points, the Jamo Tarts 5.
Oh, poor Hayley. Right, let's move on. They think it's all over, but it's not quite. We're in squeaky bum time, and anything can happen. We got 10 trivia questions, 1 point for a correct answer, minus 1 point for an incorrect answer, and a bonus 2 points for a hat-trick of correct answers. So, question 1. Rangers won the Scottish Premiership for the first time in a decade after Celtic dropped 2 vital points. Who did Celtic draw with to hand the title to their rivals? Yes, Bobs.
Dundee.
No, because there are 2 teams in Dundee. Yes, Jamo.
Dundee United.
Goodness me. Could that have been any more obvious? Dundee United is the correct answer. I couldn't just give you Dundee, Bobs, because there is a club called Dundee FC.
I didn't realise.
They're only 150 years old, Dundee FC, so don't worry, they won't be offended. Question 2. The record for the fastest goal by a debutant was broken on Monday. Who scored with their first touch for the Mariners? Yes, Jamo.
Roo, after you, my friend.
Nah, you can't pass on.
No, whoa. Jamo. No. If you shout your name out, you've got to give us the answer, not Ruon.
All right, I apologise. It was the young boy, a good friend of mine, Hatchie.
What's his first name?
It doesn't matter. He's a friend of mine. I call him Hatchie.
Well, what's his first? If you're on such good terms, what's his first name?
Sam Hatch.
Matt Hatch.
Yes, Matt Hatch is correct. You try to bluff your way so brilliantly out of that, Jamo, but no chance. The point goes to the Bubsy Babes. Oh, dear.
I apologise, mate.
I did not know that. How, Ruon?
I knew that.
Hang your head in shame.
Oh, dear. It's like herding cats. On to question 3. Manchester United ended their crosstown rivals' long winning run, but how many games in total did Manchester City win before they lost against United at the Etihad? Yes, Jamo, you got him first again?
Shit, I'm going to say 21.
You're correct, but you know what, Jamo, when you shout your name out, that's not just to buy you 10 seconds of time. You've got to actually know the answer.
21, that was right.
Next time I'm going to throw it over as soon as there is a moment's hesitation from either team. Question 4, still speaking of streaks in the W-League, Brisbane Roar undefeated run of 9 matches also came to an end. Who did they lose to? Yes, Bobs.
Canberra United.
You just got in there before that pause was about to be cut off by my voice. Canberra United is correct. A point to the Bubsy Babes. Question 5. Michelle Heyman just equals Sam Kerr's W-League goals record on the weekend, which is how many? Yes, Bobs.
70.
Yes, correct. Again, just on the buzzer.
Bubs, you're a machine.
That's my click. That's my click.
You have to get that right, Bubs. Question 6. In the A-League, who scored the winner for Adelaide United against Newcastle Jets? Jamo, you got him first.
Ray Goodwin.
Bruce, how did you not get that?
I reckon my internet's delayed. I heard me say my name before Jamo said his name. My internet connection's delayed here.
It's your brain that's delayed, I think, Bruce. So Craig Goodwin is the correct answer. A point to the Jamo Tarts. Question 7, the FA Women's Super League is back in action. Who scored more goals on the weekend, Caitlin Ford or Sam Kerr? Yes, Bobs.
Caitlin Ford, she scored 2.
She did indeed. Caitlin Ford got 2 in Arsenal's 4-0 win over Birmingham. Sam Kerr scored 1 for Chelsea.
I know it was International Women's Day the other day, but I'm just a bit confused how all the questions have got something to do with the women's game. I didn't get to read up my notes, but I do apologise. I'll read my notes next time and I'll...
Jamo, are you actually admitting to not even following the women's game? Shame on you.
I'm too busy watching Hatchie. I'm too busy hanging out with Hatchie.
I know Matt Hatch's name, mate.
I'm too busy hanging out with Hatchie, but I must know. Yeah, my bad. I should have known Sam scored 70 goals. I'm sorry about that. I should remember that.
If you watch the W-League, you would know because they say it every 5 seconds.
The commentators shit.
They are shit, but...
Simon, it might be a job for you in the commentating gig if you want one.
Yeah.
You're not with Fox Sports anymore, are you? So, okay, I got it.
You noticed. Yes, that's very good of you to keep up. And give my regards to Sam Hatch. Question 8. Harry Kane and Son Heung-min broke a unique record at the weekend. What was it? Yes, Jamo.
I'm guessing they passed the ball to each other for the most assists.
Yeah, we're going to give you that. So the most assists between each other. Question 9, only 2 questions to go, teams. Wellington Phoenix wore a special kit dubbed the Wollongong Strip in appreciation of their adopted COVID home at the weekend. What colour was the kit? You said Jamo before I'd even asked the question.
It was the Wollongong Wolves that wore the red kit.
Correct. The answer is red. So it could all hinge on this. Yes, go on, Bubs. Have a whinge.
When he says, Scott, you stop the question and then he can't answer it properly.
You do have a point. I think Hayley Routley may again be deducting points, but I'm going to leave that up to her. Nothing to do with me. I'm completely neutral. Could all hinge on this. Question 10, Liverpool suffered another defeat at home, the 6th in a row. Who did they lose to this time? Yes, Jamo.
Fulham.
Again, there was a big intake of breath, but you do have the right answer. And that is the full-time whistle. Blimey, that was tough. Hayley, at the end of the night, who's crossed the line?
It absolutely pains me to say this. The Jamo Tarts have taken at home 13 points to the Bubsy Babes 10.
I find that hard to believe.
Jamo's on fire.
They are. Brucey, call.
I find that hard to believe.
He got bonus points for hat trick at the end.
I'm going to go bearish on you, Hayley, in a sec.
Yeah, your membership's going to get taken away, Hayley.
Jamo, you finally won.
Oh, yeah, I think it was all Ruon, to be honest with you. Obviously, he's part of the Central Coast Mariners who are top of the league, so it just filtered through to me.
You, Ruon, and young Sam Hatch. Thanks very much to Hayley Routley, and congratulations to the Jamo Tarts. Commiserations to the Bubsy Babes. Our thanks, of course, not only to Bubs and to Jamo, but also to Ruon and to Bruce for coming on the show and being such good sports. Just before we go, time for some late breaking news. Bunnings have reported a rush on the sale of ladders, with a mystery buyer snapping up dozens over the last few weeks. Oh, he's earned that. And a good little Marvin badge at the end as well. Terrific. Gianni Infantino's claim that VAR adds to the adrenaline rush for football fans has received rather a mixed reaction here in Australia. Good night, and don't forget to buy us a coffee.